Welcome to the Grassroots Army podcast. I am, of course, your host, former Michigan gubernatorial Garrett Soldano. And my goodness gracious, do I have some hot garbage for all of you today? So let's get right into it because the media cycle has just been vicious with the amount of stuff that's going on. But we really have to hit and talk about what's going on in Michigan, obviously, with Gretchen Whitmer being crickets with what happened to, unfortunately, the woman in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where an illegal immigrant in a carjacking gone wrong murdered a young woman in Grand Rapids. See, this is the frustrating part with all of us is they just stay silent. The corporate media, the corrupt politicians, when an event that takes place doesn't support their narrative. They just get really hush hush and they wait for that media cycle to go through like everything's just sunshine and rainbows. As long as we don't talk about it, well, then it didn't happen. But unfortunately, it is getting a lot of attention out over on X, and Whitmer is facing a lot of backlash because, as you are all well aware of, we have been busing illegal immigrants into our state, flying them into our state for years now. Governor Gretchen Whitmer back in February 19th, 2024 was looking for Michigan residents, because this went viral, looking for Michigan residents to house the illegal immigrants. And she was going to pay these folks $500 a month to do just that. And we all, as Americans, were sick and tired of the invasion of the southern border. And what they're doing, and we called this out long ago, is they are strategically putting all of these folks throughout our country, and they're playing the long game. These are voters. These are potential Democratic voters, and they know it. And so what they're trying to do is play the long game, get these folks in, get the nipple, right? Get them on the nipple of the government and allow them to start getting all this free money and then turn them into potential voters. That's what they're doing. And with that comes crime. And unfortunately, that's just what happened in Grand Rapids is this young woman took or had her life taken away. And here's the big problem that I have with Governor Whitmer. As you all know, I have a lot of problems with Governor Whitmer. But one of the things is she is very, very vocal on abortion. My body, my choice. She is out in front, always talking about it, nonstop, 24/7. My body, my choice. Well, Governor, what about this young woman's body? What about this young woman's choice to live that was taken away from her because of policies that you and the Biden administration are for? Open borders, which should not happen. I am all for legal immigrants coming over here and doing it the right way, coming over, getting vetted, making sure that you're going to be a positive impact on our society over here. But the open border policy does not work, and we are going to unfortunately suffer the ramifications and repercussions for decades to come. But over on Twitter, of course, the Dems, they are focused on Mad Dog Matt Maddock. He made a tweet yesterday, and I'm reading it right here. It says, happening right now, and he put an image of several buses in Detroit Metro, and he said this, happening right now, 3 buses just loaded up with illegal invaders at Detroit Metro. Anyone have any idea where they're headed with their police escort? All right. So, long story short, there is a reader's added context on the bottom of it. It says, hey, the buses and police escort are for the Gonzaga University men's basketball team who are playing in the Sweet 16 at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. Well, this obviously is going viral. It's already, as of this morning, had 12 million impressions, and they are just eating Matt alive on social media over on X, which, hey, here's the thing. Yeah, he made a mistake. It's the gosh darn Gonzaga basketball team. But the positive out of this situation, it just shined a huge, huge spotlight on the illegal immigrant stuff that's going on in the state of Michigan, because they've been doing it for years. So everybody's now talking about it. So I just released a video over there stating just that, like, who cares if he was wrong? You guys are focusing on the wrong thing. And that's what the Dems do. Hey, look over here why the dumpster fire is going on over here. And so, my goodness gracious, I do not care that he was wrong, but it made a spotlight, a huge one, on the problem that we're facing. And unfortunately, folks, it's going to get worse. And I ran on that. Those of you who've been following me in our run for governor, you guys know I was very passionate about stopping the illegal immigrants from coming in the state of Michigan. This was not going to be a sanctuary state. And unfortunately, bad things are going to happen. So keep your head on a swivel. Stay alert, stay alive, because it's going to get a little squirrely here in the next decade. That's for sure. Let's move on to one of the things that I'm very passionate about is medical freedom. But Kate Middleton, in the story of her with her cancer diagnosis, and I don't wish this upon anyone, all right? But one thing that's happening and what I've seen in my clinic is there is a lot of young people now, a lot of young people that are having all kinds of immune system problems. They truly are. They're having autoimmune disorders. There's some really weird tumors going on. And I'm seeing it as a chiropractor, which is rare. I've never seen this garbage in my clinic before, but especially younger people are starting to come in here with some very, very interesting things. And what the research is now showing is charts are showing a sharp rise in the rate of young adults getting cancer before the age of 50. And even in the health, it said dramatic rise in cancer in people under 50. It's starting to be everywhere. And this just came out in January, turbo cancer, the new pandemic. And that's what Pfizer's CEO, Albert Bourla, thinks we're in, all right? Cancer's big business for big pharma. Holy cow, do they make a lot of money off sick people. But what has happened over the past several years, you all know what I'm going to say. Well, I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to get deplatformed. But you know the boop, boop, that's what I'm going to call it. We all know that that is creating havoc in our society. It truly is. They're even starting to find out, and scientists are now starting to investigate that whoop whoop is actually waking up cancer and dormant viruses in people's body. And so that's what it's created, is turbo cancers. Again, since this is a boop boop and not a therapeutic, there's not going to be any liability. So think of this marketing that big pharma gets to do. What a great business plan. Number one, you get no liability for your product. Doesn't matter if it kills or maims or even destroys people's lives. You're not going to be held liable. But not only that, it's going to cause more sickness for you to make even more money on. Crimes against humanity. It's crazy. And I will continue to get on here and expose this stuff, the hot garbage, as I say, so you guys can be empowered with your decision-making process, because everything that's happening right now with the illegal immigration, it's garbage, and how the Dems just don't want to talk about it when it doesn't fit their narrative. I mean, I don't care who you are. You know, when bad things happen, especially if it's your policy, you have to own up to it. You have to come out and you have to just be transparent. And our political landscape has been so polarizing, and it's just, I think we're just all kind of fed up with it. And I was just talking to a never Trumper the other day, and they just are feeding on all this stuff that President Trump is being accused of, and how his bail was set up at such a high amount, and devaluing Mar-a-Lago and everything else. And they were loving it. They were loving that this was happening. And I patted and interrupted, and I said, well, wait a minute, look, I don't care what side of the aisle that you're on. You know, you should be very concerned that this is even happening, that they're trying to cancel someone. They have weaponized the judicial system to cancel their opponents, to hurt their opponents, to destroy their opponents. And that's just not how this country is supposed to operate. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, if you're going to do these things to one person, then you should make sure that you're doing it on both sides of the aisle. Case in point, whatever happened to Hillary Clinton and all of her emails that she had, right? Or what happened to Biden with all the classified material that they found at his places, right? His house and his garage and everything else. Nothing. But they focus all of that energy on President Trump. And it's wrong. It truly is. And that should scare everyone. I don't care if you're a Marxist or in the middle or an old school Democrat, a libertarian, a conservative. You should be very concerned that they weaponize the judicial system, and they will come and try to do everything they can to destroy you if you try to stand up. They did it to me, not to the extent of President Trump, but holy cow, did they attack my business physically, online? They really did. And they went after my license. I mean, they'll try to destroy you. And it's not fun to go through. Trust me, I can't even imagine what President Trump's going through. I mean, the guy's like the Energizer Bunny, man. He just doesn't quit. That's why he has my vote. And he has my 100% support, because the Biden administration, with everything that they're doing right now, they're destroying our country, made it into a dumpster fire. And I don't care how much they don't want to talk about it. middle America, the people in the middle, the independent voters, that the kitchen table issues that they're most passionate about right now is the economy, the rising food prices, the inflation, interest rates. People are starting to get affected. I mean, we all are feeling it. We're not only feeling it at the gas pump, we're feeling it in the grocery stores with the cost of our living and stuff. And people are struggling, and it's going to get worse. And I don't think even President Trump's going to get in there and be able to turn this ship around. I think it's going to be a rough road, and I think we're on our way to a very, very big economic crisis. I truly do. And so you have to be prepared for it. And you have to start making plans now, if you haven't already, to be prepared for it. And that's why over the next month, we're going to start talking about some side gigs and multiple sources of income to try to get you to understand that you need other things. You need other sources of income to get you through what's coming. That is for sure. But get out there, continue to rock and roll. Happy Easter to everyone. And we're going to get through this together as a movement. So God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan, of course, and always. God bless these United States. I'll talk to you all soon. Until next time.